Good evening, everyone. Tom Clark, our president, is not here this evening, so I will be chairing the meeting. So I'd like to call to order the Whittingham Homeowners Association Open Workshop Meeting for Monday, July 21st, 2025. I'd like to begin, please, if we could all stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Matt, can you do a roll call?
Absolutely. So I'll start with my usual down the row. Tom Clark, who's absent. Jay Respler is absent. Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio,
Here.
Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
Matt, do you want to go right into the management report?
Of
For us?
course. I'll start by saying, man, it smells like seal
People.
coating in here.
Please pay attention. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Joe. We ready? Okay, it smells like seal coating in here because you can see our parking lot is back underway. Guys will be here probably about till dark tonight, doing another coat and getting ready for the striping on this side, which will be done tomorrow. So we'll open it back up as soon as we can. We're going to bounce over to the other side probably in a couple days. We'll push out that information as soon as we get it to you, but it looks a heck of a lot better, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
We still have some work to do on Whittingham Drive. We're doing some restriping of some of the lines for the walking bike path, whatever you want to call it. We put some speed limit markers on the road. They're just stenciled for now. We're not done with those. They'll connect the dots and make them look pretty, but a lot of improvements going up and down the road. So look good. You guys probably know that we're finally done with the Whittingham roof project. We started last September, I believe it was. We just finished the final building, 11 Rutland last week. So good project, putting that one behind us, and we'll look to another one maybe next year. Hope you guys got the emails about the daily codes that we're trying out. Daily codes get sent out around midnight every night, morning, whatever you want to call it, for that day. Today was the first day we tried it. We got some feedback from security that the lines are a little less than they were. It's speeding people through a little bit. People are getting the codes and they're using them. We're going to keep doing it for the first couple of weeks and keep checking in with security, see if that's solving the problem a little bit with the gates. Most of the feedback from security at the gates with the backups in the morning is mostly contractors or residents that haven't called to let them know they have somebody coming in. That's been the big culprit there. So we're trying this out, see if it works, and we'll keep you guys posted if it's going to continue. Next thing we'll get to is the pickleball courts. One holdup, which will be corrected this week. The divider fence posts in between 4 and 5 are going in later this week. Once those are in, then they can do another seal coat and start painting next week. So that's the goal right now. Hopefully the weather holds and we can keep on track with that and get that done. One of the last things we want to talk about is the Whittingham fence project. That affects about 215, 220 people with new privacy fences. We did meet with Pardini Construction this morning. They went through and did a final inspection. We thank everybody that's already moved some things out of the way of their fences to allow for the construction. As of today, they're confident they have enough access to do the work and they can work around what's left, except for a few homes that we have to reach out to individually, but we'll take that offline with them. The schedule is going to be pushed back about a week from what was originally sent out to everybody. So tomorrow we're going to send out new schedule, everything, and hopefully this is the last big communication you get from us on it. But thank you to everybody. We look forward to your cooperation. The fences are going to look great. Um, They will probably be going into the early fall with this, but I think they can get about, what, five units a day done if all's well. So if you have any individual questions about your fence or anything, contact me or Susie, and we can take it offline. All right? You
Matt, I
have-
have a question.
Okay, Joe.
If, about the codes coming in.
Yeah.
If a person did not receive the email or was unable to apply for that code online, can they still call security to request the person be let in?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Absolutely. And again, we'll see how it goes. I mean, the feedback we got from Marco was pretty positive today. You know, about mid-morning, we called him and said, "Are people giving you codes?" He's like, "They're giving me codes," and that's what we want.
Okay, so if anyone has any questions about how this coding system will work for the community, please, when the time comes and we open the forum for our residents, please come up and ask your questions. I think it will definitely alleviate the lines that we've been seeing at the main gate.
And this is something that other communities use, so we're copycatting a little bit, but it seems to work other places, so we figured we'd give it a shot. You know, a lot of residents have asked us the question about if, you know, my son's on the permanent visitor list, does this affect him at all? No, he's on the list. He can still come in and say, "I'm on the list," or it doesn't hurt if he has a code too. That may even speed up the process even more. But if you're on the permanent visitor list, you don't need a code, but you can definitely use it if you want to.
Okay, Kristen, do you have a recreation report for us?
Yes, I do. All right. This Saturday, we have Ready Your Yacht coming to our ballroom at 7 p.m. Buy your tickets with the concierge. And for those that already purchased tickets, please make sure you bring your ticket with you. For this show, we're going to be collecting tickets and for the future shows as well. On Wednesday, July 30th, St. Peter's University Hospital is offering a CPR course in the front multipurpose room. The cost is $15 per person, which will cover the cost of supplies and a participant book. You can register for that in the nurse's office.
Excuse me, Kristen. Madam, we're handing out handouts. Could we see one, please?
Good to continue? Okay.
Can you-
Saturday, August 2nd, we have a movie scheduled at 1 p.m. in the Arts and Crafts Dance Room. The name of the movie is Nona's. August 3rd, we'll kick off our 2025 GW Olympics with a welcome breakfast at 10 a.m. in the ballroom. The events will be held throughout that week, and it will end on Saturday, August 9th, with an awards lunch at 11:30 a.m. in the ballroom. So far, we have a little over 100 people participating. Today is the last day to sign up, so please see the concierge if you want to do that. Our bus trips to resorts in Atlantic City are on August 6th, which is on sale now, and September 3rd, which goes on sale tomorrow. Saturday, August 16th, we have Winslow and Eagles Tribute here in our ballroom at 7 p.m. Those tickets are on sale now as well. Sign up now for our September 17th bus to the Theater District in New York. The bus departs the community at 8:30 and departs New York City at 5:30 p.m. Tickets are $30 and available now. And lastly, our Arts and Crafts Fair is Sunday, September 28th. If you want to be a participant in that, the applications are at the front desk.
Kristen? Okay, so the next topic, I will be reporting about a meeting that the WOA Board President, Tom Clark, had with a member of the Monroe Township Utility Department regarding the work that was done on Half Acre Road across from the community's main gate entrance. And I'm going to read Tom's letter. In his absence, he gave me the letter. I will just read it to you. It says, on Friday, July 18th, I met with the director of the Monroe Township Utility Department, or MTUD. The gentleman's name was Joseph Stroin, and two of his staff members. who performed the work that was done on Half Acre Road across from the main entrance to the Greenbrier Whittingham community. As you know, the vegetation was removed from this area so that maintenance could be performed on the sewage and water infrastructure buried in the ground. I explained to the gentleman that the board fully understood the need for their department to be able to have access to the area and perform regular maintenance work to keep the system working. I was informed by Mr. Stroin that the department was going to reseed the area to help improve its appearance and that it would plant a few bushes. After discussing the grading of the property, I mentioned the negative effect the work had on our community. Mrs. Stroin seemed surprised. I asked him to consider increasing the amount of vegetation planned for the area and to use native plants so that the large gap that has been created by the current work would once again be filled in by the vegetation. Mrs. Stroin said he would consider my request to increase the vegetation. He also stated the work will be performed in stages to better grade the property for future access and appearance. I requested that before any work was performed, that he notice the WOA Board of Management so that we may inform our homeowners what will be occurring. And Mr. Stroin agreed that he would do that. Okay, and that is, unfortunately, it was a situation where we were never notified, but we also found out that we did not have to be notified because it was Monroe Township Utility Department. So we're at least trying to take some steps to alleviate the problem. It did leave a big empty gap. Okay, so we're going to move on to.
Just to add to that, I was in touch with the Monroe Township Shade Tree Commission on this exact matter. And the Shade Tree Commission told me via email in writing that the MTUD has the easement there and they do not have to replace anything that was removed because no shrubs are allowed to be put in that easement. So it's going to be interesting to see whether the MTUD trumps the Shade Tree Commission or vice versa. So more to come on this one. Should be fun.
So we'll move on to the review of June 16th, 2025, open workshop meeting minutes. We've reviewed the minutes. Does anyone on the board have any comments, questions, changes? Matt, can you take a roll call for approval?
We typically approve those at the joint open meeting next week. Yeah.
Right, so moving on to new business. There is a review of 2 contracts with the vendor Arcaro Masonry that will come up for approval in our next joint board meeting. One contract is for $9,500, and it's for various repairs of foundation cracks, sidewalks, aprons, porch stoops, and they are at the following Whittingham addresses: 3A and 11 Chadwick, 7C, 11B, 18A, and 56 Rutland, and 21 and 61G Winthrop. The second contract is for $2,800 for the repair and replacement of the walk at 90I Winthrop Courtyard. Both of these dollars amounts, which total $12,300, will be paid out of condos capital reserves, not the operating budget. Are there any questions on this contract from the audience? None. Okay, so we'll move on to a financial update, which I will give. We have received the May results. Condo is right on target, right on budget. WOA is a little bit over budget. We are just hoping that by the end of the year, things kind of taper down a little bit. But for the most part, we're in a pretty good position. All the results, all the financial reports are posted on the Greenbrier Whittingham resident portal as they are every month. When we receive June results, we will be meeting with our Budget and Finance Committee to discuss projections for the remainder of the year and to start the work on 2026 budget. That will take place August 14th. Okay, we had on our agenda old business, and we were going to discuss Aquasize. The board had received a number of emails offering commentary and personal views from members of the community who participate in the Clark Fitness Aquasize program. We wanted to take further comments on this matter. We did get this distribution. We have not had a chance to review it. I don't know if we should table it.
Well, I
We
tell you
can
what,
certainly take
this,
comments.
if this was brought up, okay, a 2.5-page document to be discussed at a real proceeding in a court of law, it would not be accepted, okay? So my opinion is that until the board has a chance to review these comments and allegations, we should table this till the next meeting. Thank you. Sorry, no. This should have been brought up to the board. Sorry.
Okay,
Not a 2.5-page letter. Sorry.
okay. Please refrain from yelling, please. Ma'am, please refrain. Let us speak. Let me make a ruling here. Thank you. Please come to the mic.
Step up, Tabby.
It's not on. And give your address, please.
Tybee Lapkin, 2 Halifax Drive. I understand that you didn't have time to review this. I understand you're not considering that, but I do think it might be justified if people could come up
Well,
and express their point of view.
I was going to make a comment. Yes, I understand that everyone gathered here for this purpose because it was on the agenda. So I do think we will allow commentary from the community. We can start it now. On this next. So we can start, if anyone wants to comment, add any further comments. We did receive emails, as I said, that had offered commentary and ideas and all sorts of views about the program. If there are further comments from the residents, please, let's get to the podium. I will remind you to give your name and address. I will also remind you, please, to be respectful of everyone here, as we would like to be with you also. You are limited to 3 minutes per commentary. If you need to add further comments after that point, then please, we ask that you get to the end of the line. I do have a timer, and I am timing.
My name is Ellen Panzer Schwartz.
Hold on one second. Yes,
Okay.
let me also, I do want to talk about the transparency issue. we had a joint open board meeting. At the joint open board meeting, a resident, it was something we had discussed and were going to announce in our next meeting, which would have been this meeting. But at that joint open board meeting, a resident did get up to the podium and made a comment. At that point, we jumped the gun and decided to give our residents the policy that we were going to announce at this meeting. So the policy was stated at that time. It was given to those who had attended that meeting and anyone on Zoom. And at that point, that was the notice of the policy. So it's not that we were not transparent. It was unfortunately because a resident had brought up the topic, we decided we would then not wait until the next meeting, which would have been this meeting. So please proceed.
Okay. My name is Ellen Panzer Schwartz, 19 London Drive. I'm going to start with the transparency part since you decided to do that. That meeting that you had where there was one resident and only one resident from the swim club was because we had no notification in the agenda that it would be a topic for discussion. That's first of all. And maybe it wasn't a topic for discussion. Maybe it was something you decided after the events that happened at the pool. But I do think that as a community that constantly tells us we are like a country club, where we have had things in place for quite some time, having a decision made and brought out at a meeting where you're right, no one else from the swim class was there. And as you can see, everyone else from the swim class would have been there had they known it would be up for discussion. The person that was there was not there for discussion of the pool. They were there for something else. So I'd like to just start here. First of all, let's talk about the standard operating procedures that have been in place, not just in our community, but in all of the other communities, the senior communities like us. For the past 20 years, the following operating procedures have been adapted and maintained. Our classes were held in the indoor pool, except when the outdoor pool was open. A lifeguard was always present at the indoor pool when we were there, including for aquasize, and lifeguards were always present when the outdoor pool was open. The indoor pool has always had, and so has the outdoor pool, that when classes were being done, that people were not in the pool. That's something, it's 1 hour twice a week, now 3 times a week with the deep water aerobics. The lanes have always been roped off in the outdoor pool. And during that time, people could always be in the outdoor lanes.
1 minute.
The signs were posted in the pool areas and management always stuck to this, and so did the board rules. What happened was, and you can pretend you're transparent and lie about this, but the Monday of was one of the hottest days. People were in the pool outdoors with us. And what happened was we asked that there just be quiet so we could hear the instructor. Twice, we had a very unruly person who argued with the instructor and some people in the class. That was the exact day that you guys walked into a closed board meeting completely. You heard all of a sudden from 1 million people. Let me be very transparent with you. Since the day that you put us back inside, we have been looking at the outdoor pool. There are 5 people at any one time that are out there. 4 of them are people from our class that chose not to go back in. So basically, you're keeping us inside with no lifeguard, with
Time,
things
please.
stolen because of maybe one person who goes swimming.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Carol Larson, I live at 10 Halifax Drive. There are a lot of indoor pool issues. You've put us into a pool that has no lifeguard in the summer. That it's a problem. We've polled a number of people. We've found out that the only times that anyone can come up with times that lifeguards have had to enter the water have been times associated with our class where someone has needed some assistance. Thankfully, there have been lifeguards there and that nothing escalated into a bad situation. The person was not injured, the person did not drown. Sorry. Um, but what you've done is made it so that the people in the class have no choice but to go to the indoor pool with no lifeguard, because that's the rule. We can't take the class outdoors.
That's a good question.
So you've taken on a bit of liability on behalf of this association by doing that. The instructor of the class, as someone rather cavalierly pointed out, the instructor is a lifeguard. Yes, she is. She is certified as a lifeguard. But if you know anything, have you done your due diligence about what lifeguards do? They are not supposed to get in the water. That's the first thing you learn in a lifeguarding class is the only time you go in the water is when you have to effect a water rescue. You're taught all kinds of rescue techniques all around the pool so that you can avoid getting into the water, because you are responsible for everybody in there. You have to see in a pool, you need to see what's on top of the water. You need to see what's below the level of the water. She can't do that when she's teaching a class. She's in the pool, first off, which limits her ability to see. And second off, she very often has to do
1 minute.
individualized instructions. So having her as a lifeguard really is not a reasonable plan. We've talked about the country club atmosphere. I know that Ellen sort of talked about that before, but other 55 and over communities in Monroe do not allow people in the pool when they have an aqua-sized class. If you go to a YMCA, or if you go to one of those country clubs that charges you $25,000 or more to join, they don't allow you to just access a pool at any time. They have rules. If there's a particular activity, that it has that time. Open swim is limited to certain times. So you've deprived people of their country club feeling about this place. If you're saying that they have to be inside, they can't be outside for the class that they look forward
you.
to all year. Thank you.
Before you leave, could I ask a couple of questions? Because I'm just gathering
Absolutely.
background information on this.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I have a few questions. I'm gathering background information. Despite what everybody in this room may think, things haven't been going on in secret. We've been reacting as information has been coming in. I'm not that familiar with the classes. I haven't seen them. But a question I have, if you're in the indoor pool, do you have a problem with a noise complaint as you do with the outside pool?
We haven't that I know of.
Okay. Is that an improvement?
Honestly, that Monday was the only time we've had an issue with a noise complaint.
Okay.
And the only time it was an issue was when we had to move a little further down to the shallow end of the pool. And
Okay,
we
I
had
get
to
that.
hear
I
the
get that. I
instruction.
get that. My next question is, do you have a problem in the indoor pool with people looking at you, which apparently has been a complaint of the group? So that
I don't
problem's
understand. I'm not understanding your question. I'm sorry.
in this flyer that's got out and some things I've heard over the grapevine. One of your complaints has been that you're getting looked at, Googled at, or whatever by other people.
I will tell you, I drafted this document and I drafted a
Okay,
response.
okay, I'm
letter
not
to-
talking about.
It was
which-
never
I'm
in
not,
there.
I need an answer to my question, please.
Those complaints were never in anything that I've addressed to this board.
Well,
There is an issue with somebody being in the spa because, and the rule
I'm
has
not
been.
talking about the spa.
Okay,
I'm talking about the class. Apparently, some people have complained while they're taking the class, people are watching
yes,
them.
in the indoor pool, there
Is
was
that
an
a problem?
issue, which is why that rule was established, that no one would be in the spa or on the deck
Okay,
at the indoor pool, because there were men who went into the spa and did things that I'm not gonna have to tell you what they did,
Oh, my God.
because, you know,
Oh,
it was
please.
like,
Thank
put the
you.
house back in the
Okay.
house, buddy.
Let me take a few minutes. Before we continue, I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
But before we continue, I need to make everyone aware of what occurred on that day. I was the one at the pool and Tom Clark was at the pool. We were approached by the lifeguard. The lifeguard came to us and said, there is a class going on and residents do not want to leave the pool. It is 98 degrees and they felt that there were 30 of them. And at the time, I believe that there was 8 or 9 Aquasize members. That was that day. Okay, I don't know if it was 10, 12, I don't know, whatever the number was. There was about 30 people in the pool that did not want to get out. Tom Clark and I brought it to the board, called and said, we have a problem because we're concerned now that, number one, the lifeguards will not be able to force the residents to exit the pool. And number two, we don't want a situation that will get out of hand. And so in order to kind of alleviate the tension, we said that we will move the class indoors, which will give the Aquasize class the privacy that they deserve, the ability to do what they need to do in a relatively larger space, because if they're roped off or limited to one part of the pool, well, I mean, we look at it from size, dimensions of the pool. The indoor pool is larger than the area that you would have been roped off in. So that is the reason that we decided to make this policy. Now, we didn't do it haphazardly, and we certainly didn't do it secretly. We came to the meeting that evening, and there was a resident who brought it up. And as I said earlier, at that point, we had discussed it. We made the policy. We thought it was fair, better. We thought it was certainly the 18 to 25 Aquasize members would have their own environment, no one to bother them, no one to interrupt their class, no one to fight with. And of course, on the flip side of that, the however many residents there are that use the pool, 25, 50, 100, 125, depending on the weather, they would then not have to worry about getting out, getting in, getting out, getting in. That's the reason the decision was made and the policy was set. Now, again, we announced it because it came up that evening. Otherwise, you would have gotten notice to come to this meeting and we would have done exactly the same thing.
May I
So-
have, oh, I'm sorry.
I will allow some more commentary. I don't want to take this all night, but I want you to understand the sequence of events. I think as a board, we need to explain what we did. And I'm sorry that it really took too much of your time, but again, we're trying to help you.
If I could just have a minute to respond. Even assuming the numbers that you mentioned were correct, and there's dispute about that. I have gone personally and checked the pool every day from 11 to 12. 5 or 6 people is the most, except for that one day. Had the board done its due diligence and really examined what goes on during Aquasize time, you would have seen that. You would have seen that there really was no need to make a policy that was different. Had you talked to the people in the Aquasize class, you would have learned that privacy was not an issue. The only privacy issue had to do with that spa indoors. And that was a long time ago. And as it stands right now, if we're indoors in the class, no one is allowed in the spot.
But
But
I
And-
do
and I
want to
acknowledge-
comment, we did speak also to the residents who were in the pool. And there were a lot of them who had many complaints.
on one day,
Yeah.
and honestly.
On one day, on other days.
I've been here for 5 years. I have not heard 20 people stand up and complain. There aren't 20 people in the pool at that time. I don't know why. It's kind of like you've got a solution in search of a problem.
Okay.
It's-
There were 20 people in the pool. There were more than 20. There were
That
people
day.
in the pool that weren't even allowed in the pool. I had taken account. I had spoken to many residents. I also asked people, young people, to get out of the pool. So I definitely had conversations with them. And again, they don't want to be limited either.
You know, if you went,
So we have a dilemma.
it's 2 hours a week.
I understand what it
If you
is,
went
ma'am. I
anyplace,
do.
you could pay a lot of money to belong to a
I
pool.
understand
would
that.
still tell you.
And I
you
appreciate
can't
your
be in the pool
comments,
at these
but I'd
hours.
like to allow the other people to speak also. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Elaine Messina, 76 Leeds Lane. I go to the pool every morning. 5 people are there besides me and my 2 friends. That's the norm, right? I'm one of the strikers. I'm not going inside for the summer. I walk the pool every day if I can. And you're so concerned about this. Anyway, the privacy issue was before the gym was redone, when the people on the treadmill could watch us in the pool. That was when it was. Don't interrupt me. I'm not going to be long. And really, all you're
Very
doing is
rude,
yapping.
ma'am.
I know, you
That was
are
rude.
too. Also, I
Really?
called Tom Clark and I wrote him a letter. He ignored. Not even a response like drop dead, thanks for writing, nothing at all. Also, you should be more concerned about the children in the pool from 10 o'clock in the morning
We are.
than, yes, that nobody says anything about.
We are.
Yesterday, when I was there at 10:30, a little kid was in there.
Mhm.
So that's all I want to say. This business with this little secret meeting you had, don't tell me it wasn't secret, because it was.
No, not at all.
I'm Rizal Perlman at 6 Birmingham Lane. I was the person who was here last time. Last time when I spoke, I was talking about how the lifeguards didn't understand the rules of the pool, and that was a concern because there were young children in the pool at times when they shouldn't have been. And that was my comment. It had nothing to do with the stuff. And when people talk about the transparency issue, the issue was that nobody from the board spoke with anybody from the class. You heard the complaints from people outside the class, but nobody took the time nobody understands how the class works. Nobody is in the class. Nobody spoke to anybody who was in the class, who takes the class. So that's the issue that we had about the transparency. It should have been a meeting, if you're going to make a big rule change like that, it should have been a meeting including some of the people impacted by it. But in general, I just want to say that I've lived here for like 7 years and I have loved it. And the 2 things that I've done since I got here pretty much have been line dancing and aquasize. Both of them have been really good for me, physically, and this for my health and all these things. And it has been just such a pleasure when we have the outdoor aquasize class, so that when it was removed without any discussion from
30
anybody in the
seconds.
class, that's kind of the problem that people see as a transparency issue. And when people sent in all kinds of comments, most of them were ignored, so.
I don't know how to do this. My name is Ann Keynes and I'm at 27 F Rutland. Okay, I've been part of this aquaside since I live here. I'm living here more than 20 years now. And the exercise it's really an important part of my my rehabilitation program, but that's personal. I have never, ever, in the 20 years I've lived here, been complained to the board, had any comments. I know you, I don't want your job. I know it's a tough job. And I accept what is. This is the first time I have to say I cannot accept because it just doesn't make sense. I know you're here, you negotiate contracts, you negotiate financial things, all for the benefit of the community. And I would like to see you negotiate this properly. It's really not an issue that can't be negotiated. Somebody here mentioned about the size of the indoor pool compared to the space in the outdoor pool. Yes, the indoor pool has a class registered for 20 people. If you get 20 people in there, it is crowded. If we have 20 people outdoors, it is not crowded. And if the lanes, and the day that we're discussing that there was a big problem, there was only one lane for the swimmers. They now have 2 lanes. There used to be 3 lanes. In the past years, there were 3 lanes while we were doing the class, and there was more than enough space for our class. The day that you were questioning, we were in the deep water, and I have to respectfully disagree with the numbers that you used, because I was in the class and I was in the deep water, and there was a pretty large group of us in the class that day. However, we don't always sign in because there wasn't somebody there to sign us in. So I don't know if you use those numbers as the number of people that were in the pool at that time, and or the
30
number of people that
seconds.
wanted to come into the pool that day, because there was nobody there. Yeah, and the only complaint I had this year about that pool as well, and Kristen knows about it, because I rent a scooter for the summer. And it's my greatest pleasure is to get to that pool, and I'm able to do it. And I wasn't able to get in with the way the gate was. So I appreciate whoever fixed it or whoever worked out an arrangement that gate could be opened and I could get through without having to struggle, because I had to call Kristen one day. I couldn't get in. There was nobody there to help me there. So that's my comment.
Yep.
I appreciate you
Thank you.
negotiating this issue as soon as possible.
I do want to remind everyone, we're not taking the class away. The class will still be conducted, but in the indoor pool.
Okay.
I understand,
Yeah.
and we're not forbidding anyone from using the outdoor pool after the class. We're just
Understood.
trying to keep peace in the
Understood.
community.
So we're asking for peace, okay? Thank you.
My name is Gloria Gerard, 73A Winthrop. First, there's the gentleman on the end. I'd like to give you some history. I too have lived here 19 years, and since Aquasci has been in here, I've taken classes. I've taken all of them. For my curiosity, I checked all these pool rules outside, inside, and the rules and regulations of WOA online. They all say the same thing. No kids under 3, no kids in diapers, no guests before noon. No, yes, but you don't know that, because I called the office and I said I was questioning, says, I was told the board makes the rules, the office enforces them. No one's enforcing them. You are supposed to sign in with your guests. You are supposed to stay with your guests. No more than 2 guests. Let me tell you that one Monday, we came in at 11, everybody was there. There was a 4-year-old climbing into the pool, and if it hadn't been for us, that little boy would have been
interrupt you for 1 second. We're well aware of that. We had a meeting with the pool company to tell them that all these rules need to be enforced.
Except for one thing. They have a lot of companies, and these kids are sitting there and not paying attention. No one from here is going every day and saying, "You're new. Do you know what the rules are?" That's what needs to be done. About the indoor, closing it off. Several years ago, we used to have a resident who would come, sit in the hot tub while we were all there. If you've seen our instructor, she's a very attractive woman. He would get out of the hot tub, put up a chair, and his legs went east and west, and he would salivate as he stared at us. That is why the rule was made. And you're taking that away. So who's the pervert who's going to come in now? Now, the volleyball team
I don't know what you mean by we're taking it away. That was the purpose.
of
of-
closing it down to anybody coming in.
Oh, and that's what,
Now you're
again,
taking
I'll-
that away. You're letting anybody come in the pool.
moving the aquasize class back into the indoor pool gives you more control.
No, it doesn't. You just sent us information. The indoor pool will be allowed for people, anybody to come in the hot tub while we're having our
That's the same
class.
with the outdoor pool.
Same
No.
thing.
Have you seen anybody sitting on the edge of the pool with his legs wide open? No. And let me tell you one more thing. Even with a lifeguard, we had a person die in the indoor pool during a volleyball class. Do you want it? I guess you weren't sued that time, but you're suing now. My advice to you all is look up all the rules, read them, and you will find that we are not enforcing them at all. And that is
And-
a problem.
And as Kathy spoke, as she said, we have been speaking about that at every one of our meetings internally. And we have called in the pool company to sit with us. We gave them all our complaints. We told them all our rules. And we told them we expect that they are
Passing
enforced,
it
that
on.
they
You
will be
expect that.
enforced.
But you expect that. Don't expect it because this is not their home. But these people here, that's their job.
Yes.
And I
And-
have to, unfortunately,
they
I'm
are
sorry to
aware.
give you one more job, but you have to walk out of there every day and check to see the rules. Do they have, they need one at the desk so people sign in. I mean, 2 guests at a time. People come in with 5 and 6 people.
Totally agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Totally agree.
And it's not right.
No.
It's not fair to us at all.
We
We
agree.
live here too.
We agree, and we are addressing
working.
Are
that.
you eliminating, at least take
position.
away having people come in while in the indoor pool? Because I don't want to see that again.
Well,
And
we're
then
doing-
one more thing before, and I won't say anymore, is I found it amazing. This issue happened on a Monday. 2 days later, we get notification, there'll be no pool. You won't be able to be outside. It's amazing. This board and other boards before you have never made an important decision like that overnight. So somebody had a little pull.
Rochelle Goldschmidt, 129 Birmingham. Okay. When I moved here 9.5 years ago, I came from an area up in Northwest Jersey. And once I retired, I joined the Y, and I used to do aquasize 3-4 times a week. And I purposely told the Realtor, I want a community that has an indoor pool, an outdoor pool, and has aquasize. Well, the way we're going to end up losing Clark Fitness because they're getting very frustrated, they're getting very upset with us. And this is a big pull for the community, the aquasize. We cannot afford to lose it. Now, you also said that we have as much room indoor as outdoor. No, we do not. There are certain exercises that we do in the outdoor pool that we cannot do in the indoor pool because it's too small. We will line up, half the people on this side, half the people on the other side, and we walk against each other and in between each other, which brings the water going in opposite direction. And it's very good exercise for the muscles. I also would like some of you to possibly come to an aquasize class and even take an aquasize class and see what it's like. It's not just a lot of fun. It is fun, but it's also a lot of hard work. I took class this morning. I'm now up over 9,000 steps. And after class, I was over 6,000 steps. So it's very helpful to us to keep us healthy and to keep us young. So,
Thank you.
and it's important for the community to have it.
Good evening. I'm sorry, folks, but I'm not here about the pool. I listened very carefully. I didn't know this was happening. I'm here about my own problem. After 2 years of complaining about a leaky roof that caused brown water stains on my living room ceiling.
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
Yes.
Did you give your address
Did I say my
and your
name?
name? I don't
didn't?
think so.
Oh,
Please.
sorry. Rita Perlman, 11C Rutland.
Thank you, Rita.
I've had a leaky roof for 2 years, and as you know, we just received our new roofs. Unfortunately, in the past, when the roof leaks, we were patched and the management had the stains painted. Unfortunately, the roof continued to leak and the brown watermarks returned. So the patching never worked. They fixed our roofs now, but the patches, the brown stains, 3 of them, not my whole ceiling, just 3, are still living in my house. This interior problem was caused by your neglect, not mine. Your negligence in replacing my roof for 2 years caused the brown stains on my ceiling. The whole ceiling does not need to be painted, just the 3 brown stains, which makes my home look like trailer trash. The management is responsible for fixing this horror. I pay $695 a month maintenance, and I am entitled for the management to take care of this mess. I read and scoured the governing documents and the bylaws very carefully, and nowhere does it say that I am responsible for this damage. I am looking forward for you to take care of this as soon as possible. In all the years I have been living here, this is the worst stress I have ever had. Now, I'm living here a very long time. I've waited 2 years for my roof to be replaced. They've patched it, they've sealed it, never worked. If you had a ceiling like mine, you would not live in the house. So I am asking you, as the board and the management, to come, Mr. Lubis. I have spoken to you about it. You were going to send me a document saying how you arrived at this conclusion, which I've never received. You never answer a timely call or a request appropriately.
I beg to differ with you, Rita.
I want my ceiling 3 stains, 3, to be fixed immediately. I'm waiting 2 years. It's not fair. I pay a lot of maintenance and it's your responsibility. Nowhere in the documents does it say I am
Rita?
responsible for that.
Thank you for your
Thanks,
comments.
Rita.
Let me just say, I do want, for condo residents, the governing documents
Yes, I read them.
indicate that the association, WOA condo, are responsible for the exterior of your home.
Right.
The interior of your home is your responsibility.
I did
through
not cause that leak.
insurance. I understand that.
I have been
We
talking
understand
about
that.
it for 2 years
Yes.
and nothing was done. It does not say that I am responsible for the inside if it was your neglect that, because it happened. I
Okay.
didn't go up there and put the leak on. I didn't put the patches on the roof that didn't work. I have asked for a new roof so that you wouldn't have to do all this.
And you
It
did
was
get it.
completely disregarded.
Okay.
Now I'm very happy I have a new roof, but
Yes.
I had to wait. But this is your responsibility.
I do not believe legally that it is our
You show me the
responsibility.
document where it says that.
Matt?
Rita, I have a copy upstairs. I will get it for you. It's been sitting in an envelope with your name because I thought you were going to stop by and pick it up.
No, you said you would get it to me.
Thank you. Next.
Hello, my name is Claudia Mazurisky. I live at 33 Birmingham Lane. I heard my classmates complaining about moving to indoor pool exercise. I live here for 10 years. I have never ever heard anything like what you said today, that people complained. Never heard any complaint in 10 years. When on one day, someone with a big mouth said something, it's inconvenient for them. It's not fair to us, older people who are looking forward to exercise in the sun, in the fresh, using fresh air. It's a totally different experience than exercising indoor. We have to do it during winter time, fall, spring, but we're looking always forward to exercise outside. Why you need to deprive us of that? Why? We're older people, we're not young. We want to use every opportunity to enjoy life. And please don't deprive us of that. For me, it looks like you already made your decision, which you're not going to change, no matter who says what. People are saying here, this, that, but you're just listening, you're looking at the time, God forbid, one minute more. But why don't you hear us just for once? We are just asking you not to change the rules which were here for since the beginning of the community. Why should you change them? Because of one day, and one day, people who should not be here at 12 o'clock. I'm sure there were so many people who don't live here, they're guests. Because usually there's not so many people from what I see outside at this time. And there's only 2 hours per week, not the whole day, for God's sake. I just want you to reconsider it because it looks like you already made your decision and it's not fair to us. It shouldn't be like that. Thank you.
We understand. Thank you.
Hi, Diane Stanley, 22 Trent Road. Hello. I'm back because I was at the last meeting here talking about the pool. So I don't do aquasize, but in solidarity to the aquasize people, I'm a big pool lover. And as everybody knows, I even offered myself to run a pool committee since we have so many different problems with the pool. The board did not seem interested in that, okay? I was told just to join the town center committee.
We are considering that very strongly and think it is a fantastic idea.
Well, I'm happy
Just
to hear
haven't
that because
started.
that's not my impression from the last meeting. And I do think it's important because since then, even on a health cleanliness, there was a chlorine issue that Matt knows about. And I was advised there was 0 chlorine in the pool and was told it was unhealthy, E. coli, et cetera. The lifeguard tried very hard, couldn't get a hold of the supervisor, which seems to be a common problem with this new pool company. It happened again the other day, the guy was telling me. But when the supervisor finally called back, there was a problem with the switch, ultimately, whatever. But the bottom line was in 30 seconds, the girl said, you can't go in there, it's unhealthy. And then 30 seconds later, after she spoke to the supervisor and flipped the switch, I was told it was now healthy. So come on, if it's 0 chlorine, it didn't fill up a whole pool in 30 seconds. So it was a little bit like, wow, this is unhealthy. And they let other people go in. And from what I understand from the assistant supervisor, there was a broken pump or whatever with the chlorine. It was unhealthy. And I guess like somebody else said, nobody's really checking the pool. And Jeff, I don't even know you at all, but I appreciate you saying that you're trying to get information. And I think the concern of the Aquasize people is that maybe if you guys had gotten more information before the decisions were made to make the changes.
Well, that's part of why we're having the meeting tonight, is to get that input.
But it was already changed before getting the input. It's kind of like the horse before the.
We
after the
responded,
cart.
There
we
was an
didn't think it would be that big an issue. Now, I know right there, a lot of people are going to. We had a series of complaints, a lot of complaints. We quickly moved to try and resolve the issues. And we thought we came up with a very reasonable solution that would accommodate most people, the majority of people, as best we could. There was no intent to deprive anybody of anything.
I'm not accusing anybody of intent. I think it was just more, I think it was a knee-jerk reaction maybe to that one day, the heat, people complained. It really is like a one-time thing. And it just seemed like it got crazy. And I just, as a statement, I mean, maybe it's the social worker in me or what, I get saddened by the fact that I've been at other meetings in the past here where the gardening club was advocating for money and the pickleball people were saying, no, you know, that's a waste. We really need to remember we're a community of many different interests. So the pickleball people can advocate for them, but that doesn't mean the garden shouldn't get theirs. And if people don't use the pool or Aquasize, that doesn't mean the Aquasize shouldn't get there. And I recognize that it's a balance of everybody, but everybody needs to kind of remember that while one person may not really give a hoot about Aquasize, others do. You know, and as a swimmer and a pool person, outside is a heck of a lot better than inside. 1,000 times.
And that's why we're addressing it. And,
So-
you know, one of the proposals that was actually done on the board was to take a section of the pool, rope it off. I'm sorry. One of the proposals, one of the members of the board said, look, we've got this kind of L-shaped pool. I had to go out to look at it. I hadn't seen it. I don't spend a lot of time in the pool. The main reason I go to the pool is to check to see that the lifeguards are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm aware they're not, and that's been passed on. And that's why I do that. Okay. So one of the proposals was to rope off this particular area. So I don't know if that's a better solution or not.
I don't think you can put hooks though, because there's no hooks. So you'd have to investigate because hooks go lengthwise for lap swim.
We can solve a mechanical problem.
Well, then maybe that's a solution. I don't know.
But there's been
But then you're
no,
gonna have to get another rope, which I've asked for, which hasn't appeared yet either. So
Yeah,
that's $250 from Amazon.
but you know, there was no secrecy involved.
Again, I'm
Nobody's
not,
working under the table.
I'm not
There's no
stating,
grand conspiracy.
I'm not
we-
stating that. I'm only stating that it seemed to be like a knee-jerk reaction because really it has been, the 8 years I'm here, there's never been a problem.
It was a
with the exercise
reaction
in the
to
outdoor
a
pool.
series of events that
Many,
occurred.
many complaints.
That occurred. And, you know, I'm looking at, I read through this flyer.
I haven't read it yet.
Oh,
but-
and you know, talking about people getting into like a dozen people inserting themselves into the pool and creating a problem and making noise and lewd looks and all of that. And when we were first hearing some of this, it seemed like the best idea was to say, hey, we've got 2 pools.
Okay. but
Let's
the good
utilize
thing-
the other.
The good thing is then you guys can reconsider, given the
We
input,
can,
and
and we
maybe
will.
make a different change.
We can and we will.
That would be my goal. And I'm still available as a pool committee.
You got it.
chairperson.
You got it.
Hi, I can't reach it. Ronnie Swinkin, 38 Westminster Drive. That's okay, I'm supposed to stand on my toes anyway. I've been here for 11 years and I love being outside and I feel that I'm being punished. You're making me go inside because of one thing that happened over the past 20 years. These, whoever they were, no, they could go into the lanes. They used to go into the lanes for years if they, if it was very, very warm outside. And they would stand and talk in the lanes if nobody was swimming. And we could still have our aquasize class. And I just feel very badly for us because, as I said, I just think we're being punished. We're not allowed to stay outside. I know you have a pool inside, but we pay to be outside for just 3 months. That's all we're asking. And it's only 2 hours a week, 1 hour for 2 days. I mean, we're not asking a lot. So please help us.
Understand, we are listening to
I
your
know.
comments, we are noting them. Again, the decisions that were made were, in our opinion, were for the benefit of both sides. And as Jeff said, we did receive many comments over many years, the last 2 years. Everyone has a comment. So there's 2 sides of the equation.
2 sides and the truth.
Well, I say 2 sides, meaning there are those who want to
I
swim
know.
freely and not have to get out, and there are those who want to exercise. So there are the 2 sides of the equation. We're listening to all those
All right,
discussions and commentaries.
right.
Okay,
Well-
thank you, though.
Thank you.
The only comment that I would make on this, because I was there the day in question.
Yes.
Okay, is if the instructor turned around and said to somebody, please, you're disrupting the class, you're in the middle of the class, that's fine. What I do have a problem with is a resident telling another resident, that's not your place to do that. That's the instructor's place. Okay, we agree so far? Okay, now, to have the pool restricted to only the exercise program, aquasize program, to me is unfair to the other people who want to use the pool between the hours of 11 and 12. Okay, now let me take it one step further. Hold on, please. I didn't interrupt you. Don't interrupt me. Let me take it one step further. We have other exercise programs in this building. We have Zumba. We have Motion and Lotion, which is a great program. We have the weight situation, which is held in this room. What if the Zumba program, who gets paid per student, does not pay for the facility, just like the aquasize people do, which is fine. If the Zumba people turned around and said, while the Zumba class is on, the ballroom is off limits, what would you think? Oh, you'd be fine with it, of course. What about the people that are playing ping pong? What about the people that are playing cards? You think that's fair to them? That's the reason for this whole exercise. We're not looking to deprive everyone. We're looking to make an accommodation to people. Okay, for me, I'm at the pool a lot. Okay, and the 4th of July weekend for me was my 3 days in purgatory. Because I was probably there the most, and I got all the complaints, which is fine. That's what I'm here for. Okay, I get it. But we have to have a little bit of an accommodation for both sides. I understand the aquasize people need a space. I get it. Okay, can we rope it off to corral it? That's fine. Okay, that would, but the other alternative I would say is to have the exercise class earlier in the morning. I was in another adult community before I moved here. They started at 9 o'clock. Okay, between 9 and 10, that's fine. Between 11 and 12, I don't know. Okay, that's the only thing I want to say. Okay, I'm just trying to be fair. Thank you.
So my name is Ellen Panzer Schwartz. I still live at 19 London Drive. Still, first thing I want to address is that you're saying that for 2 years you've been getting complaints. Wouldn't it have behooved the board having complaints for 2 years to speak to any one of the people in Aquasize. We immediately wrote a nice letter that Monday to the board in response. And for 2 weeks, no one responded to us. No one, until we got a letter, at the late end of last week from Tom saying that it would be addressed at this meeting. So please don't have us believe that you talked to everybody on the side that hated us having a class. And yet all of these wonderful community people who are in so many other activities here, who you could have found out a million times, not one of us was spoken to, and we asked to be spoken to politely. So now I think some ideas are coming up. Now some dialogue is coming up. I will say that, Joe, I appreciate you saying that you didn't like being told by a resident. But Joe, you were also told by Christina twice. You were told by our instructor twice. You,
Okay,
yes,
let's
you.
not- let's
So
not
if
get
you
into-
believe
Challenge
she-
that.
Whoa, whoa,
Okay.
whoa, whoa.
Challenge.
whoa,
I'm just
whoa,
saying that-
Whoa. Let's not get into a personal argument
It's
here.
not a personal argument, but
very
he's
much
saying
is
he
from
doesn't
where
want
I
to ever
sit.
be chastised by a
Please don't
resident.
shout.
I'm
please.
not shouting.
Yes, you are.
You don't know me, I'm from Brooklyn. Seriously.
So am I.
If he's saying he doesn't like being chastised by a resident, I'm correcting that to the fact that it was the instructor. And you have all these people here. These are not people who complain. These are not people who, they asked a group of us to write a letter in response immediately, and it sat for 2 weeks.
Okay, let me make
That
a couple.
was wrong.
Ellen, it sat for 2 weeks because for 2 weeks, we were trying to decide whether we stay with the policy that we had given on that day or other options.
But with
It
no
took us 2
input.
weeks.
With
No input because we didn't have any additional response to give you. Now, Tom, as I said, as you said, sent out a memo or an email saying that this will be discussed further. We
Which I-
came with the acknowledgement that you would, this group would be giving their commentary. And when this all began and we got this and the thought maybe was to table it.
This was
I
actually
said,
in the
"No,
notes. This was
we
all of the
should
letters
go
that we have sent you
forward."
already. It's the same stuff. But I do appreciate that you're finally willing to discuss it. And there are great ideas that have come up, and we do appreciate those ideas. And we have some very intelligent women who could also help with some of the ideas as well, if you'd like.
We've always been willing to discuss it.
That's not the way we felt.
Well, that's your
the
perception.
reason-
But
That's
after
not
2 weeks of
necessarily
not getting an
reality.
answer, the letter that we wrote went to every single one of you.
The reason we put it on the agenda for today was exactly for this reason, to hear and discuss. And as I said, for 2 weeks, yes, we went silent. So because we spent how much time discussing how could we do this and make everyone happy? It's not only the, whatever it is, 18 to 25 people from Aquasize, it's also the, I don't know how many.
Again, come and
hundred
count.
People.
There have been, we've checked every day, Carol and I, 5 people, and 4 of them are our own Aquasize people who refuse to go inside. So there's maybe one person. I understand it was a hot day. Maybe the decision is, if it gets over 92 degrees, then we call it, Aquasize, please go inside because this pool has a better utilization. But it's not being utilized.
We're going to
Well,
discuss
we
all
will-
this further, but I do want to say that you're correct. We should have addressed you, responded to let you know it was being discussed. And, that's why you weren't getting a response. But I do apologize that that wasn't done because that should have been done.
Thank you. We're really nice people. We really are. And we support this community and so many activities so much.
I'd like to make a couple of small points of order through this whole discussion. You've been saying for 2 years.
No, you said for 2 years. not
No,
me.
no, I never said 2 years.
Well, somebody on the board said for 2
You
years.
said,
No, she said for 2 years.
I
Not
did.
me.
I'm pretty sure she did.
No,
Okay, all right.
Not me.
The composition of this board has changed significantly in the
100%.
last 2 years.
100%.
All new. And, well, pretty much.
But we didn't say 2 years. It came out that for 2
Okay,
years you've
all
been
right,
getting complaints.
All right. And everybody stepped up when a lot of other people wouldn't and didn't to try and address a lot of these issues just like this.
Mhm.
That's the first point. Second point. Tom's dealing with some medical issues. He had surgery today. I'm not going to say any more about that. So his time has been a bit limited. But he's also been dealing with some other very, well, for us, serious issues, such as the opening of the roadway, things that are going on with maintenance. And everybody on this board has a life outside of the board.
Just
So
remember
it
that
took-
this is a summer issue for us. Everything else
No,
is
let-
year long.
Let me finish.
Yes.
So it took time. There was time necessary to get to this point. This is not a full-time paid group. Nobody's here sitting. Well, she does. She puts in an incredible amount of time. And we all put in actually a fairly significant amount of time.
I'm on 9 boards, believe me. I have 2 board meetings I'm supposed to be at, and I came here.
Okay? But everybody here is trying and volunteering, giving the best they can, and trying to do for the community as a whole the best they can. One of the questions I wondered about, and I'm curious about the people more to the back and the right of the room with some of the
Me
applause,
too.
was, and I don't have a clear idea on this. When you have the jazzercise class, does everybody else have to get out of the pool?
No, they go into another section. Is that what you're saying?
Because,
Right?
all right,
It ropes off.
ropes off. Okay, that's just information that I needed.
Any other
Yeah, we can go on.
information?
I'm sorry.
And
All right,
please, make an active decision with information. We're here to educate you. That's why we wanted to come.
And we understand that. And that was, as I said it again and again, this was the reason for today's agenda item.
Right. But
So
again, 2
we
weeks
do
ago,
wanna
we've
hear-
been saying, we're working on it. Please have faith. Please this. It's the first time we've gotten anything. Just imagine if you were looking to fix something broke, and it was something so dire for this community. And for 2 weeks, you reached out to someone and you'd never heard anything. The belief is you're not being listened to. And then to
But he
also
did
hear
send
the
an
answer,
email.
But other people are complaining, well, you're listening to other people, but
I got to
not-
tell you, I don't
It's-
think you're listening to us.
No, 100% I am.
I do want to just comment so that we can move forward. We do get 200 emails a
I'm sure
day.
you do.
At least, and we do read them, and we do have to table some until we can get together. We don't get together every day.
Correct.
We do get together probably more than any other board I've ever been on, but yes, it does take some time.
Again,
Normally, I respond very, very quickly if anyone addresses me directly. But again, there was more decisions that had to be made, more conversation that had to be had.
but we
and that's the
appreciate
only
this meeting
reason.
tonight that you have listened to us.
Okay. Can we go on? We're
Hi,
gonna learn.
I'm still Risey Perlman at 6 Birmingham Lane. I know that, from the last time that we had the meeting and this came out, and then there was the kind of had already made a decision to move the aquasize inside without any aquasize, kind of component of understanding about it. Now it's been another 3 weeks since that happened. And so now it's a Monday night. Our next class is on Thursday. So we had a class early today. Again, it was inside Thursday, and we're kind of down to the last, 5 weeks or so of the summertime. So I am respectfully requesting if they can be an open decision or a meeting or whatever you need to maybe modify the rules about it to be done quickly so that we can still salvage some of the rest of the summertime. So that's.
It's going to be difficult because, as we said, our president is not available. And although we can all meet and make our decisions, we'd like to discuss it with him also.
But if it takes another month, then it doesn't matter.
It will not take another month, but
Because this was one from the last meeting, which was a month ago. I
we
think.
will make that consideration also. That's all we can do.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
thank you.
we can.
Robin Zimmerman, 7 Leeds Lane. I've been here for 10 years. In the 10 years that I'm here, and I'm not for or against the people being in the pool, but for the 10 years, we were, and Joe knows I'm at the pool almost every single day at 8 o'clock in the morning. We have not been allowed in the pool when the Aquasize was going on. We weren't allowed to sit on the steps. We weren't allowed to stay in the corner. We had to be out of the pool completely. 4 years ago, we got a petition going and they gave us a lap lane. So we have permission now to go into the lap lane when the class is on. There's got to be some kind of compromise. The pool is a big pool. Sometimes there's 20 people, sometimes there's 10 people. Lately, there has been 20. And I was there that day that they're all talking about. It was 105 degrees. There were a lot of people in the pool. And your president was in the pool. And something has to be done. I mean, we all have to work together, but we were not allowed in the pool at any point when the class was on. That's all.
Rochelle Goldschmidt, 129 Birmingham. Joe, I think it was Joe that mentioned 9 o'clock in the morning would be a better time for class. We would love 9 or 10 o'clock. What happened was after COVID, we were not ready to reopen. All the other communities around us opened up and booked all the good slots. We're stuck at 11. We don't want 11. We don't like 11. And our deep water class on Friday is at 12:30. I go to it. I hate it because it splits up my entire day, but it's a great class, so therefore I go. So it's not our fault that it's not 9 to 10, and we have to try and work around it because of that.
Thank you. I'm going to take this one last person on the Aquasize issue.
you.
Elaine
And then we
Messina-
need to move
Elaine
on to
Messina,
open forum.
76 Leeds Lane. Just a point of correction. That I've been here 12 years and going to that pool for 12 years to Aquasize. It was always, the lanes were always available. There used to be 3. The ropes are broke. There was only 1 rope that day, I hear. But there's supposed to be 3 swimming, walking, talking lanes available since forever. What she changed was they were allowed to hang out on the steps and not come into the body of the pool. But there's always been the lanes available for people to swim or walk.
Okay, that's going to close the portion of old business. I will let everyone know that we will, as a board, go back and discuss the issue. We will make a final ruling and announce it at our next joint open board meeting, which is July 31st.
Next Thursday.
July 31st, I believe. July 31st, please confirm. Thank you. Okay, and I'd like to go on to, I don't know if there are any issues for the open forum. If anyone needs to come up to the microphone on any other issue. I cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
You know, your decision, if you will make the decision, it's nice. However, how much time left in the summer?
We understand.
Nothing. You will announce it next Thursday, assuming hopefully you will allow us to use outdoor pool. But you know, summer is not forever. We're missing every day.
We understand that, ma'am. We can only work as quickly as we possibly can and can get together. We understand, we've heard all the concerns. You've also heard from others who don't like the ruling, like the way it was before, the policy, the existing policy, the previous policy. So again, you have to understand we're trying to accommodate everyone in the fairest way possible.
Sure, I know
We
one
understand.
thing.
We're going to
There is
go,
one saying,
we
you
need to
can't
go
stand,
on.
you know, you can't stand to everybody with your face.
I don't
It's
know what that means.
impossible, you know, to satisfy just everybody.
We were,
It's absolutely impossible.
we certainly understand that.
The
We-
rules that existed for 20 years
Yes,
should continue.
we understand the concerns. There are a lot of people on both sides. We have to accommodate the majority, and we absolutely would like to take into consideration what was said, and we will come back at least next Thursday.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
I want to thank you in advance
Sure.
for your wise decision. I assume it will be a wise decision.
Thank you.
made.
We hope. Okay, Matt, I'm going to ask you if there is anyone on Zoom. It doesn't look like anyone here has any other comment.
No, we've had some questions that have been answered in the chat and a lot of comments that I think have already been made by residents about
Okay,
the aqua size.
so nothing else?
No.
Okay, does anyone on the board have any concerns or anything they want to add? Nope. All right, then can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, meeting is adjourned by Bob and so moved by Jeff.